Thank you, Mr. Chair, honorable members. Je vous remercie de nous donner l'occasion de.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to contribute to the conversation today.
For you on behalf of 400 chambers of commerce and boards of trades and more than 200,000 businesses of all sizes from all sectors of the economy and from every part of our country. Tout d'abord, permettez-moi de souligner que la Chambre de commerce du Canada importance primordiale.
We recognize the importance of reaching net zero the net zero goals from coast to coast, and it is important for our members to succeed in the transition to clean energy, as we represent not only the sectors and companies most involved in this transition, but also the communities across the country that they support.
We acknowledge that climate change poses a significant challenge to business, from the high cost of disruptive events to increased uncertainty for companies in what and how they should invest. Our financial system is, of course, also exposed to these risks. According to the SFAC Secretariat, Canada faces an annual investment gap of $115 billion to achieve its net zero transition goals. Even with federal investment in decarbonization, a significant gap persists. With the federal government nearing its fiscal capacity, provinces and municipalities will also face increased climate-related expenses. Business capital investments in climate and clean tech reached 14 billion Canadian dollars last year, as reported by RBC. However, business capital investments needs to increase, as do contributions from public markets, private equity, and venture capital. To fund, scale, and support innovative green technologies, a collaborative effort between government, industry, and investors is essential. This cooperation will equip the Canadian economy with the necessary tools and support to realize its net zero ambitions.
But before we can talk about Canada's broad investment in net zero across government and the private sector, we first need to ensure that Canada is a competitive environment for investment writ large. New tax increases that foster uncertainty and phase-outs of incentives that stifle investment and signal to the world's innovators to look elsewhere are not helping to attract or retain the kind of entrepreneurs and investors that are going to advance bleeding-edge, made-in-Canada net zero solutions. Additionally, investors require clarity, guidance, and data about opportunities to invest in Canada's net zero transition in order to accelerate capital flows, create the jobs of tomorrow, and grow our economy. Without access to this information and these tools, Canada cannot be globally competitive in fueling net zero investment. Canada should adopt a common definition for what constitutes investment that supports net zero. Greater transparency on Canada's transition plans would help track progress, facilitate accountability, and help the private sector plan investment strategies. In addition, the development and standardization of climate-related transition and physical risk disclosures, ideally with as much harmonization as possible, while accounting for Canada's unique challenges and opportunities, will enable organizations to track and accelerate their progress, provide information and confidence to investors. Initial guidance issued by OSFI is a positive step. It is worth noting that many of Canada's largest federally regulated financial institutions participated on the government's Sustainable Finance Action Council, which has made a variety of recommendations to advance progress towards developing and building a strong and successful sustainable finance marketplace. These recommendations have not yet advanced. In the absence of standardized Canadian-specific guidance, a patchwork of various standards and guidance has emerged within Canada and around the world, leaving businesses and investors frustrated and confused as to why as they plan and navigate their net zero ambitions. All the while, Canada gets farther from achieving its goals and attracting the kind of investment that will grow and sustain our economy for generations to come. The Canadian Chamber's Green Transition Finance Council and Net Zero Council are ready and willing to support. My colleague Bryan and I will be pleased to answer your questions. Thank you.